With us now is Mark Leibovich, chief national correspondent for the New York Times Magazine. His upcoming cover story is all about Trump and the GOP. The headline reads, Face the Nation. Republican leaders contend with Donald Trump and the greatest identity crisis in their party's modern history. Welcome.
Thanks, Charlie.
Before that, we just saw this interview that Nora did with Donald Trump. Your reaction to what Trump says?
I think the piece on the fundraising is very, very effective for him because it's a bad story for him. It's been a bad story this week, the fact that he's being so completely outraised. He sort of turns that around and says, campaign financing, campaign fundraising, asking for money is unseemly. I'm not engaging in it. I'm actually a lean sort of thinking business person. This is why I'm not doing it.
Yeah, but at the same time, alarm in GOP over Trump's war chest. I mean, the people who provide support in a national general election are saying, we're concerned that he doesn't show any regard for how little money, as Nora pointed out, is in his campaign chest.
I can confirm that that alarm is real. I would also say that he will say that, look, these are political people. I'm not a political person. These are people who have played the same game for many, many years. I'm playing a different game. I've gotten to this point.
But explain why it matters. Why does the money matter in terms of a ground game? Does it matter?
Traditionally, it does. I mean, he would say that, look, I can sit up in my office and get a bunch of TV interviews and generate my own media, and it's going to do the same thing as it did in the primary. I think in the real world, when you're trying to actually get swing voters in swing states like Ohio, you need a presence in which you can actually get voters out. You can do the day-to-day of a campaign. He has not been called upon to do that.
He does seem to think that he doesn't need the GOP machine, and up until now, he hasn't. Can he continue with that?
As a rhetorical matter, yes, he can. As a practical matter, he can't. I mean, he's essentially outsourcing, maybe 80–90% of his campaign, fundraising, the day-to-day, the mechanics, the apparatus, to the RNC. He needs them desperately. So he can only do that to a point.
Okay, you spent time with the RNC, so tell us what you saw that's relevant.
Well, look, the RNC is an apparatus. It's the party. They have to sort of make this thing work. In a way, they can't make any principled stands and say, we don't support our nominee. They have to work with him. It's a really, really tumultuous young marriage. They are kind of ticking each other off every single day, and I have no idea how that's all going to work.
Yeah,
probably contributed to Lewandowski's resignation.
I think a lot of things contributed to that. I mean, I think that's been going on for a long time. I mean, I think the RNC was probably the least of his problems.
The RNC, and you spent a lot of time with Reince Priebus, and there was something in the article that caught my eye. He's often underslept, has a beginning of jowls, and tiny goose pimples clustered under his eyes like those on the belly of a toad. I looked at that, Mark, and I went, Mark, that seems unusually harsh to me.
It might have been. I will say that at Penn Station last night, the first person I saw was Reince Priebus, and that was the first thing he mentioned. And I want to, just confirm for everyone. I want to be able to reiterate for everyone, he actually looked great. The things were cleared. He just had a bad night's sleep. So I've been there. I'm there now.
I was going to say, we've all had those.
We've all had those.
So you're taking back those remarks?
I think I might, actually. In a future version, we might clarify.
All right.
this.
That's what you do.
Yeah, I got to do stand-up here.
But now it's in print forevermore.
And it's just been read on national television.
Yeah, all right.
He's taking it back.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, everyone.